Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary past episode 349 of the Words About Games podcast, a weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Kate Alexander, joined this week by Mr. Daffy Moody.
Howdly doodly do. It's Friday. You know what that means? It's video game day.
Video game day.
Another long weekend for everyone as well.
For me too.
As you as well.
Even
yes.
for me, I've got a long weekend. My weekend started on Tuesday afternoon. We'll talk about that. How is it going, Moody?
Not bad. It's been obviously a busy week, and today was obviously the release of the latest game I've worked on, Bramble the Mountain King. Very surreal to see that out. Especially that's the game I've worked on the most since I've worked at the company I'm at. And yeah, I'm super proud of it. Looking back on it, I also like thinking could have done a little more there at the same time to learn on. It's like a learning curve for me, like and whatnot, which I'm excited for to think of what the future will be for other games for me as well. I'm not saying the game's shit, guys, or anything like that.
No,
Okay?
as somebody who has pursued creative interests for 3 decades, like once you do it and you get it out wherever it's going, you'll look at it again, or you'll think about it again immediately after it's done, and you'll be like, "This is shit." Like in your head, you'll be like, "This is terrible." Like you can spot all of the problems.
yeah, no doubt about it. It was really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, some stuff I made was terrible. Like I can think back to some stuff I did in uni and be like, "That was fucking shit." I'm glad nobody is ever going to be able to see that ever.
Yeah. Same for me, like everything I did used to do, like for the podcast and whatnot, and that was all taken down, and not a single one will ever see any of it again.
Yeah, I've been debating whether to delete everything from pre 2018 back. Yeah, like for a while now, I've been like, shit, I don't know, it's there, and I'm not necessarily bothered that it's there, but like at the same time, I'm like, should I just get rid of it? But that's a lot of history of everything. So I don't know.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you did have fun times then. Like,
definitely.
Final Fantasy VII reveal and everything when you went crazy and whatnot, and yeah, it's like it's a question that you'll answer yourself eventually.
Yeah. Oh, one day it might just. Well, I'll do what I did to our Discord. I'll go. I'm gonna delete everything like the first thing on the channel will be like the coming out and stream, and then everything that followed, and then I'll just accidentally delete the whole channel. Somehow I'll just be like, oh well.
Oh well.
Time for a new channel.
Oh.
Episode 1. But that's cool. No, I'm glad it's out. And have you been watching people playing it?
Yes, I've watched people play it.
How's that been?
And it's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird.
You've been in a million streams. Like I've seen you in loads of streams, like of friends and myself. But like to be in someone's stream and they're playing the game that you've been working on for the last
7 months, basically. 9 months, yeah. I started September, so yeah, 7 months.
Nice. Well, that's gotta be a weird one.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, it's a weird one.
Small. No, go on.
When Smallland released last month. Like I've worked on it, and it's like obviously, but I haven't worked on it compared to like other people. To the level compared to I've worked on like Bramble and everything. Like a lot of people have said, you're the one who's done most of the testing, mate. Or on the stuff that you needed to test and whatnot. Like I feel like the running joke is literally like I've completed the game around 300 and odd times. It's literally a running joke in our office right now, which is really funny of it. I'm literally like I was saying, yo, should I speedrun it? Get the world record. Because I can probably do it.
You should get a side gig writing guides. Like just hit up like a gaming website that does guides and just be like, yo, how much you paying me for Bramble guides?
Yeah. He's got all the trophies.
But yeah,
how to do it.
Turn our Twitch stream channel into a Bramble speedrun channel, and then and then go to GDQ.
I have contemplated playing it this weekend.
That would be cool.
But at the same time, just thinking, I fucking played it enough. I'm not gonna lie.
Develop a commentary, right?
Literally, probably would be. Yeah. And my words would be, "This is how you do it fast, guys." Boom.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh,
Something like that. Yeah.
Don't
do that.
Don't do that. No.
So,
but yeah,
so I'm super proud of the game.
That's cool.
The team are and everything, and like we're really excited to let people play it. And yeah,
we'll talk about it on the podcast next week, like the game itself, because I want to get it played by then. My plan to have it potentially played by today, so we could do it today for launch day, got derailed. Much like all of my plans this week got derailed.
So why was that, Amy?
Because I fucking threw my back out on Tuesday afternoon. Around about 2:30 something in the afternoon. I was lifting something. There was two people who were lifting it. Like, the amount of questions you have to answer, which basically boil down to, why was this your fault? And I was going, it wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't do anything stupid for once. Like, I think of the things that I could have hurt myself doing very easily. And if you're my manager, you didn't hear that. But like, I didn't. And then like doing something properly, and I've just like, we went up, we went down, like, knees bent, like lift with the legs, and we went up, and it's like, you know when you have a twinge in your muscle.
Yeah,
I had that, but times 100. And you know how you try and straighten up to try and like it gets rid of it when you straighten up again. Yeah. I tried straightening up, and then I went down. But because we were lifting this thing up, and I buckled. And the thing, it was like this big square box, quite not heavy, but heavy enough, and it hit him in the nuts.
Oh,
when it went down.
So both of you went down.
So we both hit the fucking ground. And the guy who had just walked away while we were doing it then came back, and we were both like, ah, and he was like, ah. And he was like, what happened?
Hit me in the nuts with the box. I was
just like, I spent 10 minutes. I spent about 5 minutes trying to stand like up, and just not. It wasn't happening. And then like 10 minutes in sheer disbelief that I couldn't stand up. Like, you know how like shock, not the kind of shock where you're in shock. I was just shocked. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm fucked. It's fucked.
Yeah.
And then we were just laughing and joking about it, but I was lying on the floor.
Help me!
I'd found the position. Where it didn't hurt. If I was lying down. So I was just lying there, and we were just having a good joke about it. And then eventually it got to the point where it's like, maybe we should tell someone about this.
Probably the best thing to do.
And for the next hour and a half, my perspective was just the ceiling of various ceilings. And then when I had to leave, I was with Phil. And then when he had to leave, I had one person carrying my stuff, and I had Phil like carrying me, like arm around him, going straight through past everybody.
Phil's like, yeah.
It's like you know when a footballer like goes off injured because they've broken their leg, but actually a strong gust of wind has just blown their hair and they've fallen to the ground. It looked exactly like that, but like the walk from the car to the front door, it's one of the hardest things I've done. So I was like, I gotta go. And the person who gave me a lift, love her, God bless her. She's one of my like good friends, but she can't support any of my weight. So I had to do it myself. And end to end, fuck me, Jesus. It was devastated.
Have you been to the doctors at all, may I ask?
No, so got in. I took painkillers. I was a bit tired at this point. Had a nap, woke up. And then I was like, okay, it's like 8 o'clock. I was like, if I go to the doctor's now, I'm going to be there all night, like overnight. I can't sit down in this waiting room.
Yeah, the seats aren't good.
And I can't stand. I can't stand for hours on end. So I was like, I'm going to see how it feels the next day. And you could charitably, I guess you could call it sleep. It wasn't much sleep. But then the next morning it was better. Wasn't good. but it was better. So I was like, okay, I'm on the mend, right? Like, if it doesn't continue to get better, I'll go to the doctors. But it was good. Like, we joked about it on a text where we were like, oh, loads of time to play games. I mean, I couldn't. But the bed is here, right? And the TV is there. Yeah. So it's I couldn't. There was no way I could find to point myself at the TV.
Yeah.
So for that first like 24 hours, I was like, I think the first night I put on. I think I just a random playlist of YouTube videos, and I wasn't watching them. I just needed something on. So I was like in and out of listening to them while I was just trying to get comfortable, because every few minutes I need to shift my position slightly. By the nighttime of the next morning, and I'm so glad I bought this. I don't know if I mentioned I bought this on the podcast, but I bought one of those, those gaming chairs, the rocker ones that go on the floor.
Oh yeah,
I bought one of those a couple of weeks ago. Did you? Yeah. Because the bed's too far away from the TV. For like gaming and stuff. It's great for watching shit, because I just literally roll over and I'm watching TV. But for gaming, I was like, I need to be closer. And I was looking at floor cushions, and then I found this chair, which was cheaper than a floor cushion. So I was like, I'll just buy the chair. I'm so fucking glad I bought it now. It's low to the ground. It's low to the ground, so it's difficult to get into and out of. But because it's like sloped, and because it's like it's a rocker chair, so like it's perfect.
You fell asleep in it, didn't you?
I didn't know, but I did finish Dead Island 2.
See, plenty of time for gaming.
I planted myself in front of the TV one afternoon, and just played Dead Island 2 until it was finished. And then I did some side quests afterwards, because I was like, I have fucking nothing else to do. Like, I wanted to play Mr. Sun's Hatbox, and I was like, but it's on PC. I was like, I don't know. No. I couldn't sit in this chair. I don't even know if I can sit in this chair now.
Did you look up and you just went,
"Fuck"? No. I haven't even turned my PC on since like this afternoon to do these show notes. And I opened the browser, and it's got all the tabs that were open the last time I had the computer on, and they were literally YouTube, Anchor, WordPress, and it was like, oh, the last time I had my computer turned on was when I uploaded the podcast. Last week. I was like, I haven't used it since.
Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've just literally been on my PS5 for an entire week. But no, it's been interesting. I've been catching up on podcasts that I wanted to listen to. Catching up with people. Reading Shakespeare. I found my Shakespeare book a couple of months ago that I thought I'd lost in a move, because I've had it for fucking 15 years or 20 years or something. And I used to read it periodically, and I was like, I thought I lost it. And then I randomly found it a couple of months ago in my dad's bookcase. And I don't know why he had it, but I was like, fuck, I'm going to read this again. And then I was texting Joe, and he was like, what you up to? And I was like, oh, I'm reading Shakespeare. And he was like, no way, I played Claudio in a high school production of Much Ado About Nothing. And I went, no way, I'm literally reading Much Ado About Nothing right now.
Oh, so it wasn't to be or not to be?
No, it wasn't. Although, because I finished Dead Island 2 and then started reading Shakespeare, I was texting her, I was like, man, like, they should do like a Shakespearean comedy, but it's a contemporary zombie film. A Midsummer Night Zombie.
So what we need is more Shakespeare read by a Klingon.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
But yeah, no, the book's right here. It's fucking massive. It's literally all of his stuff. But
fabulous.
I used to just leaf through it every now and again. Like, I was the kid in high school who, because they forced everyone to do at least one Shakespeare play. In this country, that's what they do. And I was the one kid in English class who was like, oh, this is really good. I really like this. Everyone else was like, not Shakespeare again. And I was like, let's go. The Tempest. All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Every other class in my year did Romeo and Juliet, but for some reason my class did The Tempest. I think if I'd started on Romeo and Juliet, I might not have enjoyed it. But The Tempest is like very fantasy driven. So as a nerd who loves fantasy and sci-fi, that was probably the best way to get me into it.
Probably.
And I realized as soon as we started the Discord call that I hadn't turned any lights on, but I'm not getting up. So
you're bright enough. It's all right. Don't worry.
I'll turn them on when we do halftime. Except the controller one, because the switch for the controller one is literally on the floor, so that's not getting turned on. But everything else, yeah, sure, no worries, I can do that.
Just remember to mute yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, Lou. I'm just going to be there watching you, waiting.
Shuffle. Even we got to see me get out of this chair. Like, the thing I'm most worried about is because getting out of stuff is easy. You just lean on it on everything. But this chair has wheels, so I'll lean on the thing and I'll just and I'll be gone, and then everything behind me and there's glasses and shit behind me, man. Like drinking glasses, drink.
You're thinking, you're just like, well, it's time to drink.
It's time to drink, all right. But no, I'm okay. I'm not, but I am, I'm not dead.
Are you okay or are you not okay? Make up your mind.
Well, it's a hard question to answer, man, because I'm not, but I'm not I can do this.
That's all right then. It's a way for work person sees it. They're going to be saying, yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
She's fine. She's sitting in a chair, motionless, talking. She's easily able to move around. I can't even walk to the bottom of the street. If anyone's watching this for incriminating evidence. Which they wouldn't. Because nobody from that life watches this shit. It's great. I love it. That's exactly how I want it. I don't want
freedom to bitch about them.
Apart from Phil, I don't want any of those people watching this. They don't know. Moody. They don't know how radical and anti-capitalist and anti-establishment I really am. Dare I say it? Woke.
Woke? Wait, what? You said woke?
I'm gonna get a T-shirt with the woke printed on it. That's me.
The word that cancels people when it doesn't cancel anybody. Cancel culture is a myth, people, just so you know that.
Yeah.
I haven't said that for a while.
You haven't? No. I know. Found a woke bathroom in Dead Island too.
These woke fuckers out there, man. Jesus. Right. They're ruining our games, ruining our movies, ruining our TV shows. Fuck's sake.
Apparently, that's what I've heard. I mean, I've had a good time. I've been having a good time with all of those things. Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so have I. I won't lie.
I'm reading a play from the 16th century. So, and to be honest, if anyone who complains about the woke mind virus actually read Much Ado About Nothing, they'd probably complain that it was woke. So,
But these anti-walkers, they don't read, so
they can't read.
They can't.
I would love to see one of them try to read Shakespeare.
I would love to see one of them just to try
to read.
Yeah.
Just read any book that's not Harry Potter. I beg you. Any book. Go read Earthsea. It's better than Harry Potter anyway. Percy Jackson. Yeah, sure. That went weird.
It went really weird. You brought woke up. I didn't.
I did because you know what? It was the perfect thing to bring up in the moment. That's what I do. I don't have plans for this. I just think, this would be a funny joke.
just us the woke fools out there.
Just the wokerati here at the Words About Games podcast, been infected by the woke mind virus. Causes us to be decent people and treat everybody with respect. It's horrible.
Some people with respect.
I mean, shit. Okay. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Shinra fucking t-shirt.
She's pro-capitalism. See, people? She supports Shinra.
I've sold out. This week sponsored by Shinra Megacorp.
I'm probably going to be the one more woke with my shit.
Lesbians!
Lesbians! Oh my god, we must downvote this thing because there's lesbians now.
There's a lesbian sitting here, and there's a lesbian on his t-shirt, and fucking it's...
Oh my god, they've blocked an acquisition. They must be woke.
I haven't seen that take yet.
Neither have I. I've just took and said it. It'll be out there. We know it's out there. We know it. Come on. Let's just be frank. We know some absolute moron has probably said they've blocked it because they're woke.
I've swerved away from reading the fanboy takes, like on purpose. And I've been reading like people who know what they're talking about, and like we're about to talk about it, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I just want to point that out there, throw that out there. Like, I'm an idiot.
Second that, I'm an idiot as well.
Yeah.
Two idiots right here going to talk about UK regulators.
About
we
UK
don't
regulation.
like the UK very much.
No, and that's going to come up, I think. That's going to be a theme of this
episode.
Of this topic.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a key theme. But yeah, so as we've just been talking about, UK regulators blocked Microsoft's Activision Blizzard as a merger. So I've got a few different bits and bobs to read from this. Like, it's been a bit of a day, like trying to keep up with everything. Again, this was like the thing last week where I said I watched it all unfold in real time, and it's like today I watched all this unfold in real time. So the first bit is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer. He writes, Microsoft's $68.7 billion Activision Blizzard deal has been dramatically blocked by UK regulators following a months-long investigation. The decision by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority prevents Microsoft from buying the publisher behind Call of Duty, World of Warcraft and Candy Crush, and follows earlier concerns it would lead to an unfair impact on archival PlayStation. Instead, today's decision stems from the CMA's concerns over the deal's proposed impact on the cloud gaming sector. In today's final report, the CMA said Microsoft's ownership of Activision Blizzard risked, quote, stifling competition in this growing market, end quote. In response, Microsoft has said it will now appeal. Today's report makes clear the CMA still harbours deep concerns over Microsoft's already entrenched position in cloud gaming, and that the company would, quote, find it commercially beneficial to make Activision games exclusive to its own cloud gaming service. And then it went on to say, the cloud allows UK gamers to avoid buying expensive games consoles and PCs and gives them much more flexibility and choice as to how they play. Allowing Microsoft to take such a strong position in the cloud gaming market, just as it begins to grow rapidly, would risk undermining the innovation that is crucial to the development of these opportunities, end quote. Microsoft submitted a proposal to address the CMA's concerns, the regulator notes, though its remedies did not go far enough. A major sticking point was that the CMA decided Microsoft's much-touted 10-year deals with other cloud gaming companies were, quote, behavioural, end quote, remedies that could contain loopholes and would require ongoing enforcement, said the regulation body. Ultimately, it decided that simply blocking the deal was the safer option. The CMA wrote, quote, there are significant risks of disagreement and conflict between Microsoft and cloud gaming service providers, particularly over a 10-year period in a rapidly changing market. Accepting Microsoft's remedy would inevitably require some degree of regulatory oversight by the CMA. By contrast, preventing the merger would effectively allow market forces to continue to operate and shape the development of cloud gaming without this regulatory intervention, end quote. The CMA weighed up the benefit to gamers of having Activision Blizzard content easily accessible via Game Pass as a counter-argument, but decided this did not outweigh concerns. Quote, the CMA carefully considered whether the benefit of having Activision's content available on Game Pass outweighed the harm that the merger would cause to competition in cloud gaming in the UK. The CMA found that this new payment option, while beneficial to some customers, would not outweigh the overall harm to competition and ultimately UK gamers arising from this merger, particularly given the incentive for Microsoft to increase the cost of Game Pass subscription post-merger to reflect the addition of Activision's valuable games. End quote. Martin Coleman, chair of the independent panel of experts conducting the investigation, concluded by stating the CMA's decision was a win for the UK, protecting competition in emerging and exciting cloud gaming market. Quote, Microsoft already enjoys a powerful position and head start over other competitors in cloud gaming, and this deal would strengthen that advantage, giving it the ability to undermine new and innovative competitors. Microsoft engaged constructively with us to try to address those issues, and we are grateful for that, but their proposals were not effective to remedy our concerns and would have replaced competition with ineffective regulation in a new and dynamic market. Cloud gaming needs a free competitive market to drive innovation and choice that is best achieved by allowing the current competitive dynamics in cloud gaming to continue to do their job, end quote. I just need to briefly, we're going to go through all that before we move on. There's more info. But the CMA, which would be the company that would be responsible for regulating Microsoft's deals, 10-year deal, just basically told on itself and towards the end there. This would be like, where is it? But their proposals were not effective to remedy our concerns and would have replaced competition with ineffectual regulation in a new and dynamic market. So the regulator has said that Microsoft's deals would... you can't make it up. You really can't. The UK is a joke. Anyway, you talk for a bit.
I just want to state, I don't give a fuck about this, okay? I'm not going to lie. The whole story since the whole announcement happened, last year or the year before, it's been nothing but
2020
handbags back and forwards for PlayStation and everybody in the CMA and the whole shebang. It's been a pain in the backside. If this wasn't as big as what it is, we probably wouldn't have been talking about it this week either. But anyway.
No. No,
I can understand.
We're talking about it now because, well, go on.
Because this is a significant turning point to the deal and everything like that. I'll state this. I still think the deal is probably still going to go through. But I get, you've read all that, Amy. I won't lie, I was still a little bit confused and everything.
Well, what's confusing you? Let me try and help.
I'm just like, to what I can seem like, it's just basically just the competitiveness of what everyone's actually thought about, that Microsoft would be having an overwhelming competitiveness compared to the rest of their rivals and everything in
cloud gaming specifically.
In cloud gaming, I won't lie, I thought it was going to be just normal gaming in general, because like Call of Duty is, like we've stated on many occasions, it is the biggest IP out there in video games. No word about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is. You can argue with me all you want. It still is, people. And it's just like, go on.
The argument of like normal. Let's call it normal gaming, traditional gaming, like on consoles. You buy a game, you download it. Like that argument. Like if the CMA tried to block the deal on those grounds, that argument would immediately fall apart by PlayStation's and Nintendo's gigantic market lead over Microsoft.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
So they can't make an argument on those grounds, which I think we've talked about in the past.
Yeah. And cloud gaming part, I didn't realize Microsoft had that big of a lead in it.
I mean, yeah, mostly because they're pretty much. I mean, PlayStation's been in cloud gaming for a while, but the cloud gaming service has never taken off because, in my opinion, it's terrible. Like, it sucks.
You're allowed an opinion, Amy?
No,
I didn't realize this.
I'm prefacing that with the words "in my opinion," so nobody shouts at me if they're trying to say that it's objective fact that Sony's cloud game streaming service isn't great.
I know what you meant.
But and then I just said it right there anyway. But yeah, it's because the infrastructure as well of a lot of like cloud gaming services either works on Windows or uses Microsoft's technology. It's Azure, it's called. So even if it's not a Microsoft streaming platform per se, it might be powered by Microsoft. Kind of like how, if you buy a game on PC and you run it on Windows, you're running it on a Microsoft machine. You know what I mean? Like it's a similar sort of thing there. Cloud gaming, it's going to get bigger in the future. I don't necessarily think we're right on the precipice of it exploding in popularity, given that, Stadia died on its arse like a few months ago. Luna
Agreed.
is something that no one's heard of. You're a game developer, Moody. you're a game developer, and I'm friends with about 200 game developers. Of course, we know what Luna is, but like
I only remembered it when I started working at my company.
The vast majority of people don't know what it is, and then beyond that, you've got GeForce Now, which again, does anyone know what that is? GeForce Now is a thing where you still have to buy games to then run on it, which doesn't make it terrible, but it's not something that's going to blow up and take off.
So pretty much, the CMA is basically saying if this deal goes through, Microsoft will have a significant lead in cloud gaming to saturate the market.
Because of how they've got Game Pass and cloud gaming set up on the Xbox platform, you'll be able to play not just new Activision games, but also the classic back catalog, right? So they'll be able to add a lot of that stuff to their own back catalog, and they're worried about them rising the price, which they're going to do that eventually anyway.
And they're going to do that. That's going to happen. They've already raised the price of Game Pass, for God's sakes.
They're going to do that eventually anyway. And they're worried about Microsoft basically creating a monopoly before anyone else has even managed to get out of the starting gate, which is fair. But at the same time, I mean, other companies have had... I mean, cloud gaming isn't new. Like, Stadia came out years ago. Cloud gaming on Xbox came out years ago. If any other competitor wanted to get into cloud gaming, I mean, they should do it. But they probably should have done it already by now.
Yeah, true. No doubt about that. Like, I remember the PS4 like reveal that they were talking about cloud gaming being the future and everything.
Well, both of them did.
But it's nothing came about it until obviously Game Pass happened and everything. But Game Pass was obviously more of a Netflix thing and everything. But then obviously they've transferred it to be able to play just on your phone and everything, cloud gaming, blah blah blah.
Well, I think back in 2013, like when they were in 2012, when they were really talking about it, like what the future of cloud gaming could look like. I think it was very speculative. I think it was buzzword driven, where it was like this is the new hot topic. So if we say it, our investors are going to be really happy that we've said it because we're working on it, but without really knowing what it was. I remember, if you remember the original reveal of Crackdown 3, for example, which you probably don't. No one does. I do. I remember everything.
It was so bad.
It was a terrible reveal, but like it was also like memes to hell and high water because they were talking about how like all of the destruction in the city would be processed through the cloud. Blast. So it's like the equivalent of whatever blast processing was. I can't remember what they called it. Where it was just like, this is not going to work. You're gonna have what, 2 million people playing Crackdown 3 on these servers. And yeah, at the time it was dumb, and we all made fun of it. Cloud gaming has become a thing, and it has become a thing that people can do and use. And it is only going to get more prevalent. I wouldn't mind like booting up Xbox cloud gaming on my Chromebook and playing a game on it. You know what I mean? Like if that was where I was at and like I was away and I had a decent Wi-Fi connection, like I could do that, and that would be cool. I don't think cloud gaming is going to replace core gaming for anybody. Like you and me, we're going to have consoles and PCs forever. It will get people
until they turn it into visors and go into the Oculus,
that's definitely
the Oasis.
That's definitely 100% going to happen. Oh, absolutely. The metaverse is right around the corner.
Hell yeah. A few more people might get sacked. Don't worry about those rules. Joking. I am literally joking there, people. Okay.
But yeah, it's all about stifling competition in one specific growth market. And because of how these deals work, the UK blocking it means that the deal can't go through.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Americans saying, how can they do this? We are an American company. Why are they stopping this? How can they stop this?
Yeehaw, etc., etc. Fire gun in the air. While grilling a steak and drinking a Bud Light. No, sorry, they don't drink Bud Light anymore. No, yeah, it's any country could have done this. So, like, if the Brazilian market authorities had turned around and blocked the deal would have been blocked unless they could appeal it. That's just how it works. Part of me just wonders, is this, like, because this deal has gone through everyone except the EU, who are likely to pass it anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell is going on in the FTC in America, but like that's a few months from now. And it just, part of me just feels like it's the UK trying to seem relevant. And that might sound ridiculous to anyone who doesn't live here, but I live here. I see what this stupid fucking government does every day of the year, and that is exactly the kind of thing these dickheads would do. It's like, well, we can block this major deal, and it will make us look relevant on the world stage. And then someone was like, "Oh, the EU's going to approve it." Well, we can't approve it if the EU's going to do it. Nah, speculation on my part, but it's based on evidence.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's it sucks for the people that work at Activision Blizzard, man. Like, as much as we have issues with Microsoft and the way they've been running their studios of late, being under Microsoft ownership was definitely going to be better than being under Activision Blizzard ownership, even if just for the fact that Microsoft have already signed up to officially not union bust them. Compared to what we've seen from Activision Blizzard's horrific management executives over the past couple of years. So, like, the one thing I've always said since January 2022, the one thing I care about in a merger such as this is, like, the people who work at the company. Like, as long as they're treated well and they're okay and it's a better situation for them going from one to the other, then let's get them from fucking out from Bobby and under Phil. But it is mental that, like, one tin pot little fucking wannabe dictatorship can fucking just nix a deal like this. It's mental.
Yep.
The UK should not have this amount of power on the world stage. And I get to say that because I live here. We've got a couple of statements. One was from an Activision Blizzard spokesperson. He said, quote, "The CMA's report contradicts the ambitions of the UK to become an attractive country to build technology businesses. We will work aggressively with Microsoft to reverse this on appeal. The report's conclusions are a disservice to UK citizens who face increasingly dire economic prospects. We will reassess our growth plans for the UK. Global innovators, large and small, will take note that, despite all its rhetoric, the UK is clearly closed for business," end quote. And then
something that the Tories says we are not.
And we're open for business, just not this
business. That's what I state that. Yeah, the Tories have been like saying people are going to come to us because we're going to keep our taxes low for them and everything, and not take money from them to pay the people and everything like that. But no, I'm curious by that now. I'm just really, when I heard that, when I was listening to you say that, I was thinking, wait, this is going against everything the Tories says we are.
Well, the thing is, the statement from the CMA regulatory body that I read earlier talks about the free market. Like, it's a myth. The free market is a myth, and it always has been. But this would be this deal going through would be the free market acting freely. Like, it's the CMA is just basically it's a regulatory body in the UK that contradicts itself and twists itself into knots, essentially. Like, I'm not a fan of consolidation. That's why I'm not a fan of the free market.
But it's free.
But it clearly isn't, because the regulatory body turned around and said no. Like, the deal going through would be the free market acting freely. If the free market existed, which it doesn't. Anyway, the open for business line is just, it's pathetically ridiculous. Like, we're not open for business. We just fucking, like, you remember when Russia invaded Ukraine and everybody sanctioned Russia and it caused huge problems? Brexit, to break it down into its most, like, basic form, and obviously it's a lot more complicated than this, but Brexit was essentially the UK sanctioning itself, which is unprecedented in history. No country has ever sanctioned itself before. And that's essentially what we did. Like, companies aren't going to want to build something here. Like, if a company comes here and builds something here, they're trapped here. If they build it in France, they're building it in the EU with all the 26, 27, I can't remember how many it is, other countries. And they're all open. The second we Brexited, we closed ourselves off. So we're not open for business. It's just another thing the Tories say, like, stop the boats. Like, it's just meaningless rhetoric that they can put on a headline in a newspaper that sounds good. And it doesn't sound good, but, it sounds good to the people they want it to sound good to. Anyway, Brad Smith went on BBC's Wake Up to Money and in an interview with and said Microsoft was, quote, very disappointed, end quote, with the CMA's decision. I'm sure they were more than that. Quote, but more than that, unfortunately, I think it's bad for Britain. It does more than shake our confidence in the future of opportunity to grow a technology business in Britain than we've ever confronted before. People are shocked, people are disappointed, and people's confidence in technology in the UK has been severely shaken. There's a clear message here. The European Union is a more attractive place to start a business than the United Kingdom, end quote. Which is true. Which is all true.
Yeah.
Like, even without
being
this.
One market or being 30 markets?
It's
Who
a tough one,
knows?
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. Absolute megging tough one. It really is. This is like just the whole thing of the whole last 13 years of us and everything. We knew this was coming. We knew this was going to happen and everything. And all the shit that they've been saying, no, we are going to create new things and make it not so difficult and everything. And all they've done is made it more fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Freaking, yeah. And it's a whole freaking shit. Like, I thought it was really funny. And I'm going to state this right now. I'm going to go a little bit political here.
Go a lot political. Do it.
When the idiot oligarch prime minister we have right now, who literally went to the island and literally said, "You're in an incredible place right now. You can market in the UK, fifth biggest thingy in the blah blah blah, and you can also go into the European single market." That's incredible. No other country can fucking do this.
Hello. Hello.
Over here in Scotland, UK, England, and Wales, where two of the countries, Wales and Scotland, did not fucking vote to leave the single market, but somehow you're forcing those guys out. And England, well, sadly, we voted to leave the market, but me and Amy would like to still be in that marketplace.
Would like to, yes, very much. Would like to not have left. Would like to rejoin. That would be nice. Can we get the ball rolling on that one? No, the answer is no. We can't. But yeah,
no, we're not going to do that.
No, fuck my entire existence. That's why this country. But no, you nail on the head. Like the last 13 years have been a wild ride. I think is one way to put it. A wild ride through shit-infested rivers.
And the worst thing is about it, arguably the chance we are going to change governments next year.
It's not going to.
It's still going to be shit-infested waters.
They're not going to do anything different. So what's the point?
Like, we've got local elections coming up, and I know I have one around my area. I'm literally going to ask the Labour MP, so are you going to join the single market, please? Are you going to rejoin the single market? That's the only thing I want you to do right now, and also other things, which I will bring up. But that is one of the main things I want you to fucking do.
Please, sir, can I have some rights?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. So, yeah, the chances of this deal going through just took a nosedive. You can appeal. They're going to appeal the CMA decision, and you can, but the CMA has won most of its appeals. So
at this moment in time, this deal's not going to go through.
No, it's not going to go through. It can't go through unless they pull out of the UK entirely. And I'm talking
the UK does not get Call of Duty.
I'm talking entirely no Activision games, no Xboxes, no access to Xboxes, no access to Xbox Live. Like, they'd have to cease all operations in the UK, which they won't do. They wouldn't do it.
We are one of the even though the idiots spooks a lot of shit and lies and everything like that, we are still we
spend a lot of money on video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're one of the biggest ones out there when it comes to video game development and publishing and everything. So it's it would hurt. If that actually happened, that would hurt me.
It would hurt everybody. It would hurt the entire game development.
Yeah.
It would across the world. It would hurt the entire game development industry. it's going to hurt Microsoft if it doesn't go through because it's going to cost them $3 billion. And I'll tell you who it's really going to hurt because they have to, if they can't complete the deal with Activision Blizzard, they have to give Activision Blizzard $3 billion, which obviously is chump change compared to the 69 that they're given to buy them. But here's the thing I don't think Sony has realized. If this deal falls through and Microsoft gives Activision Blizzard $3 billion, that means they're still going to have $66 billion. And that's a lot of third-party exclusives. That's going to pay for a lot of exclusives on Xbox.
That's probably what
which is what, because they'll have the money, so they're going to have to do something. Yeah. So, like, you know, okay, PlayStation's got their exclusives to Final Fantasy and whatever, like games that they've got locked in as exclusives on their console from third parties. Microsoft might just could literally just go out and buy the rest. Really we can't have Call of Duty because we can't buy Activision Blizzard. Cool. Well, Battlefield's now exclusive to Xbox. That was the first
be a big number for EA to say okay to
it will be a big number. To be fair, like they probably wouldn't go out and buy a studio as big as EA because then they'd have to go through this whole rigmarole again. But if they just went out and dumped a shitload of money on EA, for exclusivity of their games, like Mass Effect 1 was exclusive to Xbox. Why can't Mass Effect 5 be exclusive to Xbox?
That's true.
Like, and Microsoft will do it. I don't know if... And there'll be nothing Jim Ryan can do to stop it. He can get his jet all he wants and fly around. It won't help. Yeah, they're going to be able to put that $66 billion to some uses. Oh... Fucking businesses and corporations and regulators and politicians.
Twats.
Fuck them. Fuck them all. And my back. Fuck that too. Alright, should we do a game review? And then we'll do a halftime and then we'll do some more stuff.
Which game do you want to review? Ian?
I'll definitely review Dead Island because I played more Dead Island. I played significantly more Dead Island. The finished Dead Island. Dead Island 2. Okay. I got my PlayStation notebook. After all of that, I've got my PlayStation notebook out to read from.
This isn't going to take long, is it?
No, it's a page for each. It's a page for each game. I told you I'm limiting myself. They're just notes. Octopath Traveler 2 took longer because it was a fucking 70-odd hour game.
Can you imagine the notes when she plays Bramble? 3 pages. Well, this I can clearly see was not bugged right. I'll have to remember to remind him of this.
It's not a review, it's just a bug compilation. No. I would never be that rude.
I would be.
I know you would be. That's why if I have a making game, I'm never telling you about it.
Hey, you told me about the one before.
So I played Dead Island 2. It's a zombie killing action RPG in first person by Dambuster Studios. And the reason I bring the developer up straight away is because, like, fucking fair play to them for getting this game out, and it works pretty much perfectly on PS5. Like, I had a couple of sound issues when you go, like, into corridors or underground or something. Like, and it was just weird. Like, it sounded weird. It's not like the sound was bad or anything. It just sounded a bit weird. But apart from that, the game works. And considering the development cycle that this game has been through, like, it's had 3 different developers. It's been in development for more than 10 years. Like, I think people would have been understanding to a degree if this game had came out and it was fucked. But it didn't. So fair play. They got it across the finish line. And we talked about it last week. Fair play, like, they've... Judging by the reviews and stuff on online, like, they've done a pretty good job. And they have.
That's great to hear and everything like that. It's sold very well, I believe.
Yeah, it's sold really well, yeah. It's top seller in the UK at the moment. It deserves it. Like, it's... I was talking to a friend about it the other day, because I was showing him the video that I posted everywhere. I showed you it as well. And I was saying, like, it's not... Like, we come to January, I'm not going to be raving about Dead Island 2 and saying, it's in one of my game of the year. It's on my list somewhere. But it was good fun to just run around and mash zombies to bits. So
you're allowed to have fun?
Yeah, you're allowed to have... Sometimes games can just be fun. It's wild. I know it's a wild concept. But, like, just running around and killing zombies for, like, 20 hours was fun. It was fun. I had fun. Like, and I never stopped having fun. Like, it wasn't an amazing game, like, but it was satisfying. It's just about the right length, and it's simple. Like, every quest is go to a place. There'll be some zombies there. Kill the zombies. Maybe bring something back. And occasionally you have to put a circuit breaker in a thing to open a door. And that was every quest. And, like, you know what? You'd think it gets repetitive. And I think the last mission, like, main quest mission, did. I was probably about, like, ready to finish the game at that point. Which is good, because that's why you want to be thinking, hey, I want this game to be finished now, and you're doing the last mission. So it's like, hey, guess what? The game's going to finish soon. But yeah, no. Where do you want to start? You know me, I've got my notes categorized into different sections.
Wait, I have to ask questions.
Well, what do you want to hear about first? Yeah. Yes, it is. Literally. Two-person podcast.
All right. How's the gameplay?
Fun. Satisfying. It's a loop of doing a quest or doing a side quest, killing zombies, and along the way, looting weapons. It's mainly melee weapon focused, so there's a bunch of different types of melee weapons. So you get, like, and they, like, have different categories, so they're good at different stuff. Which I'll get into later when I talk about skills and stuff. But yeah, it's like, you know, you get hammers and fire axes and hand axes and knives and daggers and all sorts of zombie killing weapons. You get guns later on. It's the specific mission to go and get your first gun, and then you can start looting guns. The guns are terrible. Genuinely awful. First-person shooting. Like...
You said it was fun.
I did, because I just used the hammers and the axes and the pulls. And if I needed to use a gun, you know, you just grin and bear it and fire at will.
Okay.
But no, it is. It's supplemented by like, I would never call it an immersive sim because it's not one, but like they've definitely taken, like, some lessons from immersive sims. Like the video I was sharing all over social media of the zombies were at the glass and there was, like, a glass balcony, like all the glass going out the balcony. And it's like, oh no, you have to kill the zombies. And I was like, I had an axe or whatever, and I was like, I've got a better idea, because I also have a water can and a battery. So, you know, I did that. Like, the people were asking why I threw the thing through the window the second time, and it was so that the zombies could walk into the puddle of electric death. And well, they're zombies, right? Like, if you, like, they're not going to circumnavigate fire or electricity. They're going to walk towards you. That's one of the cool things about it. They behave like zombies would. Like, the game could have bad AI for its enemies, but it doesn't matter because their enemies are zombies. So it gets away with it. It's awesome. But it's all sorts of little things like that. Like, you know, there's a locked door. Cool, but the building's got a skylight, so you just kick the glass out of the skylight and jump in that way instead of looking for a key. You know, it's like, and I like that kind of. It lets you be creative and think outside the box and problem solve in a different way, and that's one of the things I love most about immersive sims. And again, I'm not saying this is one. I'm saying it takes some stuff from immersive sims to be cool. Sandbox elements, they called it.
How's the world?
So good. So it's set in LA, which, you know, I take issue with a game called Dead Island being set in LA, because LA is not an island, but like, I'll forgive it, because, like, Dead Island 1 was cool because it was a zombie apocalypse set on a tropical island, and those two things juxtaposed really interestingly. Like, it's all beaches and and everything, and like, but then it's zombies as well.
Yeah.
It's the same in LA. You go to all these iconic LA locations, like you start in Bel Air, you go to Beverly Hills, you go down to the Santa Monica Pier at night, and it's all lit up with the carnival and stuff. It's fucking great, and you get chased by a zombie clown. It's fucking awesome. And like there's other places, Venice Beach, and it's a really cool world to just exist and explore around. Like just because of the aesthetics of LA versus like horrific zombie apocalypse situation. Like it's packed with things to do, but it's not densely packed. So like there's some buildings here and there, and you'll explore them, and some of them will be optional and stuff. There's not a great deal to do in all of the maps, but the maps aren't huge, which I was thankful for. Like this isn't an open world game; it's a hub-based game, and it doesn't take the piss like a lot of open worlds do. Like each hub area will have a few buildings for quests, and then there'll be a few buildings or places to go for optional stuff. You mostly use fuses that you can buy from shopkeepers to open special doors that get you a new weapon. And there's only a few of those per map, and that's great because I fucking, you know me, I hate doing busy work for no reason. If there were 30 doors that needed fuses, I'd be like, hang on a minute. It's too many doors. The only time the game's really let down in the world department is when you have to go in the sewers, because the sewers are just shit.
Yeah.
Pun intended. But also not. They are terrible. It was fun, though, having a gun that fired electric rounds in the sewers. So, because when zombies started like coming towards me, I just started blasting the water.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's, again, it's that creative problem solving. It's like, try and shoot the zombie, or I'll just electrify the water and kill them all. As long as I'm not standing in it. Bathtub and a toaster in a bathtub situation, and that's a line from the game. What else we got? I've got a couple more. The skill you unlock skill cards as you level up. Sorry, just stretching my back out. So you
Don't pull it out.
Wait, too late for that. You unlock skill cards, which are like you got loads of different slots that you unlock as time goes on, and they allow you to alter your playstyle. Like you pick from one of 4 survivors at the beginning of the game, and they each have their own, like, because you got stats for like strength, agility, and they each have their own specialty. Like one's really tough, and one's really strong, and one's really agile, and so on. But it doesn't make a huge difference past the first hour, because then you can start using the skill cards that you unlock. Or you can find them in the world as well, to augment your play style. So like I had my character set up to, 1, to be able to drop kick zombies, so you could drop kick them across the fucking map, and it was great. Lots of fun. And 2, like I used a lot of maiming weapons, so like when I like broke a zombie's limbs or chopped a zombie's limbs off, I regained health and gained a damage boost, so I was building my character around that. Plus, it's just fucking fun to get a sledgehammer out and just power up a heavy attack and then just smash a zombie's legs to bits. Like, great animation. And, like, the zombies react really nicely to being hit in different ways.
Well, that's good, I guess.
And I'm ask about the story. I'm assuming. You're a story guy. Dead Island 2 is really frustrating.
I'm guessing there's no story.
There is a story, yeah.
Okay.
The character that you play as is immune to the zombie plague. You get bit right. You get bit right at the beat. Well, most zombie games don't do this. Like Resident Evil is all about, oh no, don't get bit, you'll turn into a zombie, and then you get bit like 500 fucking times when you play the game, and now it happens. What was all of Stars just immune to being a zombie? But in Dead Island 2, like you start, you're immune. But then there's a whole story behind your immunity and what's actually happening in LA and why a zombie outbreak even happened in LA. And it's really kind of interesting, that part of the story. But it takes a backseat to the more traditional, oh, we need to survive the zombies. Oh no, now we need to leave the city. How are we going to do it? And then like every now and again, you'll be reminded that there's a much more interesting story that the game could be putting front and center. And then it ends on a cliffhanger. So you wait 10 years for a Dead Island sequel, and they're like, yeah, watch out for Dead Island 3. Hopefully that doesn't take another 10 years. But it's not as annoying as it could be because the characters are really fun. Dead Island's always, like the first one and now the second one, have always been about like fun characters, like really weird characters just pop up all the time, and it's fun to interact with them. Like, you're in LA, so a lot of the characters that you meet will be like, they'll be movie stars. There'll be fans. There's an entire influencer mansion you can explore.
Was it Logan Paul's?
No. It's called the Goat Pen. It was probably a send-up of about a dozen different influencers. It was the one level in the game where I would say it was designed like a nightmare to navigate. Like, I went through that mansion about 12 times because it's a shortcut in Bel Air, and I don't know how to get out of it still. If I start from one end, I still can't figure out how to get out the other end. But, like, I think about influencer mansions and what I know about them, and I imagine they are terribly designed in real life, so I think it was probably on purpose that this one in the game was terribly designed. But no, you do like fun quests for characters. Like, there's a movie star who's trapped on the lot on a film studio, which is one of the places you can go, and you do fun shit for someone who makes who's making like videos. She's trying to do live streams, but the internet's down, so then she's like making videos of like the just killing zombies in ridiculous ways, and like it has a sense of fun. You meet an old rocker, and he's just completely burned out, and
like all old rockers.
Yeah, like all old rockers, right? And it's like he gives you quests like, oh, you got to go and get his guitar, and you got to go and get his old master tapes and stuff. And if you see Dave, say hi. That's one of the quest objectives. And then you get there, and Dave's a zombie. One of the quest objectives in one of the main quests is literally what the fuck. And it's appropriate. But I did enjoy the quest objectives. They're very, very millennial. The whole game it's quite cool. Like, one of the zombie types is these big, huge guys. They're like the strong guys, so they're like muscly and stuff. And there's a lot of them on Venice Beach. And then you get to the hub world of Venice Beach, and there's a few guys in a hut, and they're explaining that like, there's loads. Oh my god! Like, Venice Beach is covered in roided out zombies because there was a strongman competition on the beach, and that's why there's loads of strong zombies down there. And it's like, that's just a nice attention to detail that you didn't have to provide.
That's good.
Yeah,
very good. Last thing. Not all games are perfect, Amy. What didn't work for you?
I don't know if anything really specifically didn't work. I didn't like the cliffhanger. Like, I thought that was unnecessary. Like, that was annoying. After you wait so long for the game, it comes out, and then it's like, oh, see you next time. I'm assuming there's gonna be an expansion or DLC or something. But it's weird that they took so long to make the game and then just didn't finish it. The story, again, the game works really well. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it's good but not amazing, right? It's fun but not exceptional. It's satisfying, but like, I'm not going to feel the need to play it again. Glad that I played it. Probably will never think about it again. Except a funny line or moment here or there, you know. Remember that, you know. Yeah.
Final thoughts, Amy?
I think I just did them.
You did, I'm not gonna lie. Well, that is it. Everybody go check out Dead Island 2. Amy gives it a thumbs up.
I'd say if you're on the fence about it, wait for it to come to Game Pass. Or wait for a half-price sale.
A sale or something like that,
yeah. Because again, it's a full-price game. It's like $70. So if I had spent $70 on it, I don't know if I would have necessarily been like, I got my $70 worth out of it.
Yeah.
But I rented it, so... That's why I don't do value judgments in my reviews, because I can't judge the value of a game because I didn't buy it.
That's true. It's time for Indie Game of the Week, Amy.
Yes, I played another game demo this week. Loddlenaut, which is interesting. We were talking about Thalassophobia for 10 minutes last week. I played an indie game demo where you swim about underwater. It's chill, though. I could do this one. It's a relaxing game. See, one of the main tags is relaxing, and it's like a chill beats to relax to soundtrack came with a game where you swim around and with a little laser gun and you just clean the ocean. That's what you're doing. You've gone to this alien planet and you're a little fella with a little laser gun and you're collecting all the beer cans and the ring things that the cans come in and cleaning up all of the gunk, and that's it. In the demo. That's it in the demo. As you do it, like, you know, you're bringing life back to the ocean. So like it gets more colorful and like the coral starts coming back and you'll unlock things like air bubbles like these big things where air bubbles come out so you can breathe for longer, and like you take all of the the rubbish back to your base and you recycle it, and then use the stuff that you get from it to purchase upgrades or like, you know, use like different things to make different items. So like you can make a purifier bomb, I think it's called, where it's just like, oh, there's a lot of gunk in this one specific place, let me just throw a grenade at it. It's like Terranil underwater, but it's an adventure game instead of a strategy game. And there's not much more to it than that from the demo, or what I played of the demo. Like, and at some point in the game, there's like little creatures you can befriend and feed them different fruit, and then they'll evolve and do things and have babies, and then you feed them different fruit. But I didn't do any of that, so just had a relaxing 20 minutes, which I need as much as that as I can get at the moment. Yeah.
Champagne.
It's been developed by Moon Lagoon, published by Secret Mode. It's coming 2023 to PC. There's a link in the description wherever you've got this podcast. Go wishlist it on Steam. And not for nothing or anything, but the last few indie games of the week we've done, like most of them have then released within a month. So
Have they?
Yeah, we've done a lot of indie games of the week recently where it's like, oh, it's coming sometime in 2023, and then it's out in like a couple of weeks or a month or something. So I guess that's with the switch to demos. Because like, if there's a playable part of the game, it means the game must be so far along, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
I don't think many indie developers are doing vertical slices.
Yeah.
Oh, let's move on.
Needed to start.
That's fair. I respect that this week. Like, of all weeks, I respect that a lot this week.
Sweetness.
Should I talk about Wild Hearts for a few minutes?
No. Let's just move to Moody's Time to Shine. Do Wild Hearts next week, man.
Fine. But you know I'm going to have loads of games next week, right? Because loads of games came out, and I have a little bit of time on my hands.
Yeah. I hopefully might play Star Wars this weekend.
Ah, that's good. Well, hopefully Microsoft won. You know, no one's going to block on Microsoft. We're not going to have that level of news story to do.
Hopefully, it is the main story next week is game reviews.
So yeah, I'll do Wild Hearts next week because it's not going to be long.
Yeah.
It's an impressions thing. I didn't finish it. I have no intention of, and not in a bad way. I just have no intention of playing any more of it. So it's Moody's time to shine. My internet has gone down. My Wi-Fi has gone down.
Yeah, we're frozen. Yeah,
this is problematic. No, just the Chrome browser crashed. There we go. We're back. Where would you like to start? Moody's time to shine. Where are you shining your light first? Spotlight.
Let's start. Let's shine a light on a return, Amy.
Return. Just read the headline.
Nintendo returning to Gamescom.
Thank you. Thanks.
A return, for God's sake! Come on,
Moody's time to shine.
I lined you up for you too. Knock it out of the park.
Moody's time to shine isn't a fucking riddle. I will unlock the next news story if you can answer these riddles 3. Nintendo officially returning to Gamescom this year. It's from John Midler over at VGC. He writes, Nintendo will attend Gamescom 2023 later this year. It's been confirmed. Following a claim from the event's organizer that, quote, a major company, end quote, would return to the show, Kolnmass and the German Games Industry Association have now confirmed that Nintendo will exhibit after a 4-year absence. The organizer said, quote, we are excited to announce that Nintendo will be exhibiting at Gamescom 2023. Many more exhibitors will follow in the coming weeks. Stay tuned, end quote. It's currently unclear what Nintendo's presence at the event will consist of, as the largest titles the company has currently announced, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Pikmin 4, will have released by the time Gamescom takes place in August. The company last attended the show in 2019, where it primarily featured games launching later that year. It also had a large number of booths for consumer attendees to try some of the games. Nintendo is the first major publisher to confirm attendance at the show. This is weird. This is wild to me.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Yeah, they're either showing up just because more people come play Zelda, or they've got something that they maybe want to. They're gonna maybe do something before then, and because obviously they've stated that their only big release this year is basically Zelda.
Well, did they state that? Because I was thinking about this. Did they state that, or was that just one of those rumors that went around? Because I was trying to remember this. Whether this was a rumor or it was stated fact, because I remember hearing that.
I can't fully remember.
I remember hearing that a little while back.
I could look on the internet, but I can't be bothered. I'm not going to lie.
Let me just say, I thought twice.
Just say it is and isn't.
I thought twice about, because in Fantasy Critic, Vitz has got unannounced Mario 2D and 3D platformers. I thought twice about counterpicking those when I read this. I was like, wait a minute. Because they're not going to go to Gamescom and show nothing. That would just be weird. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of Zelda. There's going to be a lot of Zelda booths there. That's how these game shows
Zelda
work.
DLC.
Is it not a bit soon for Zelda DLC, though? Because if the game comes out in May, June, July, August, only like 3 months.
Game's been delayed 2 years. 2.5 years. That's like enough time to put in a DLC.
Well, I mean, if you can, switch a game engine in a month, I'm sure you can do DLC in 3. So.
Exactly. Switch a game engine in a month. Bada bing, bada boom.
One of my favorite things I read on Twitter last week.
That's why I got off stupid, because Twitter is stupid.
It is. It's entertaining.
I think I just said that's why I got off stupid, because Twitter is stupid. I mean, that's why I got off Twitter, because it is stupid.
Yeah, Twitter, stupid. They're synonyms.
They're the same thing.
But like, of all the companies I imagined would announce a Gamescom presence, and I imagined a lot. Like, I figured pretty much everyone was going to be in Gamescom. I never thought Nintendo would be, because I just assumed they didn't have anything else big coming out.
Yeah.
But what, Metroid?
Maybe it's Silk Song, Amy. At long last, Silk Song.
Maybe, as long as they have more than one booth this time, like they did a fucking X, one fucking Switch playing Silk Song.
Right now, we've got nothing of really knowing what's going to be coming next, really, after Zelda. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know Metro Prime 4. We know about that. The rumors of obviously the next Mario Kart and etc. And obviously the next Mario game, basically. Obviously those are going to be coming in everything, or at least the next Mario game. I don't know about the next Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Because that's been such a massive seller for them.
Because are they still doing the DLC? Is that still a thing? I think it is, isn't it? I think
so.
Yeah.
They might even announce more DLC for Mario Kart. Because I think it's been nothing but a marvelous success for
their
them.
best-selling game on Switch, which is wild because it was a Wii U game.
Best-selling game on Wii U and the best-selling game on Switch.
But it makes sense. But no, like
yes, it does.
Yeah, like I can see a Metroid Prime 4. I could see a 2D Mario game.
Potentially, I just don't think they'll come out this year. I think Nintendo is done for the year after Zelda. Pretty much. Maybe. I think they'll have those little indie games and maybe a couple of RPG games to come out and everything. That'll come out maybe fall later this year, but I don't think it's going to be anything of Nintendo exclusivity.
Nintendo created.
Yeah, created. A Nintendo game created by Nintendo creators.
Yeah, because I think like...
developers, yeah.
I think like at this point, I think you just... 3D Mario will just be a launch title for the next console. It's that late in the game. Like it might be cross-gen, but it'll be a launch title, like Breath of the Wild was.
And then they'll put Tears of the Kingdom again on.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom will get remastered, and then you'll have to do all of the backwards compatibility all over again because Nintendo sucks. But yeah, it was just weird because I don't know the reason for this. Because like Nintendo, if they don't have anything to show, they generally just don't show up. They're not one of those companies that will go just to have a presence.
They literally do their fucking own thing. And 9 times out of 10, it's when they want to do stuff.
It'll be interesting to see what they've got. Booths and stuff. I'm not going, but one day. Not this year.
One day.
Can't wait. Looking forward. It just makes things a bit more interesting.
That is true. We'll see. Oh, maybe they go in there for Jeff Keighley.
Boo. Who said that?
Next. Let's talk about some unions. One got blocked today, but this one we're going to talk about, Amy.
Oh, I think I left one of the stories in from last week, the Horizon one, the Deepwater one. Ignore that. Sega of America to cohort moves to unionize. This is from Jeffrey Rousseau at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, a unit of 144 staffers at Sega of America has filed for a union election with the National Labour Relations Board. As reported by The Verge, the cohort known as the Allied Employees Guild Improving Sega, or AEGIS, well done, consists of employees from departments that include live service, marketing, and product development. The unit is partnered with the Communication Workers of America. Excuse me. In its statement regarding the unionization effort, the group said, in part, quote, our workers and our audiences deserve games made by people who make a living wage. In our quest to reclaim our collective power, we have built bridges with fellow workers from across our company in an effort to understand our shared issues, end quote. The unit also said that nearly a third of Sega staff aren't full-time workers, lack paid time off, and do not have access to bereavement leave. The cohort's goals in forming a union includes higher base pay for all staffers, improved stable benefits for all staffers, clear outlines for career advancement, balanced workloads and schedules, adequate staffing to end overwork, and Aegis's unionization follows a year in which the games industry saw an increase in organization. That was not meant to be a bullet point. That was meant to be the last sentence. So I read that with completely the wrong tone.
That's absolutely fine. Yay, go unionize. Go for it. This all companies, all people should try and join a union, man. You protect yourself against any corporation out there and everything like that, because you don't know when the nicest corporation they could be the nicest corporation out there, the best place to work on earth. But you don't know when they're there to serve their own interests, and they could potentially come and bite you in the ass. So just prepare yourself and protect yourself. It's all about it, and so go for it. Yay, video game industry is unionizing. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on pushing this. Thank you, Activision Blizzard, for being such a twat of a company to force unionization. Who knew that would have helped us and everything?
Well, we're getting there slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, yeah. But the more and more is happening and everything, and
like we say, unionize. Like the games industry needs to unionize. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult than that. But
yeah,
it's happening.
If it was that simple, it would have been done years ago and everything. But no, yeah,
unions are great. Like the Writers Guild are going on strike, and the shit. Like I was watching a podcast yesterday, and they were interviewing Ira Stephen Bear, the showrunner of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and he was talking a little bit about like the shit that like studios have been putting writers through the past few years, and it's like yeah, solidarity, fucking strike and get that shit, because and it's the same with the games industry. Like you unionize and you'll be able to protect yourselves and fight for better. Like, I mean, some of the shit that they're asking for, it's like, oh, living wage. It's like, yeah, everybody should be paid a living wage.
Well, Tories don't. They've been trying to.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not government policy or corporate policy. Yeah. That's why we need to unionize for these things.
Yeah. Yep. no doubt about it. But go on, you can do it, guys.
Go Sega.
Sega.
I'm just gonna cross that one out. So
I'm curious about this one, not because of my movie podcast background. Miyamoto believes bad reviews helped the Mario movie's success.
always trying to sneak a movie one in here, just for you, just for that legacy. This is from Josh Coulson over at The Gamer. He writes, the Super Mario Bros. Movie continues to be a massive success, quickly becoming the highest grossing video game adaptation ever as it sailed past $800 million last weekend. It will likely hit $1 billion very soon as the movie hasn't even been released in Japan yet. Nintendo boss Shigeru Miyamoto has been blown away by the film's success, admitting he thinks the somewhat negative critic reviews the movie received at the start of its run actually helped it achieve massive financial success. He told press, quote, while many foreign critics have given the movie relatively low ratings, I think that contributed to the movie's notoriety and buzz. I did have a level of expectation that this movie would also do well, like Super Nintendo World, but I was very surprised that it went beyond what I could have imagined when it finally came out, end quote.
Now, there's no doubt about it that things like this have happened before. I do not deny that or anything like that, but Miyamoto, that's not how the Force works. Okay, I'm just going to state this. I'll state this right now. Black Adam last year had terrible critic reviews and had a high audience score review. I never listened to the audience score whatsoever.
I mean, we're going to talk about user score reviews later.
Yeah, we will be.
So
that's good. I can state that's going to be the next story.
Let me put a pin in that, in my opinions on that one for a minute.
Yeah, but that one had the audience behind it. It made less than $400 million. No, less than $450 million. It's a financial bomb. You can be the most friendliest film to an audience and everything like that, but overall, an audience success doesn't mean an audience score means really little or nothing. The critics score also at the same time.
Critic scores matter.
Can help. They do help. There's no doubt about that because. If you see there's say 9 times out of 10, this is this. We already know this. Every time a person sees a review, they don't read the review. They go for the number. And if they see a number that says 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, they're going to be like, oh, I like that. That's really good type of thing. And then they're going to be more interested about that and everything.
There's an interesting discussion I want to have about reviews. I linked it in Discord, but I want to do it next week. I was going to do it this week, but then Microsoft. But no, the critic reviews matter more for like the critic reviews were never going to make a dent in Mario, right? Because people who want to go and see like Mario are going to see Mario. Like I went to see John Wick 4 last week when I could still walk, and like I was going to go and see that no matter what. Like critics could come out and say it was terrible, and I was going to be like, well, I'm still going to go and watch it because I want to go and see John Wick 4. Whereas if there's like other films, like smaller films, like less known films, like and when I say less known, I mean less mainstream known, because like I would think of something like Everything Everywhere All at Once, which gained buzz through word of mouth. It wasn't necessarily a mega hit when it released. It was after people saw it, critics raved about it, people raved about it, and same with like Banshees of Inisherin as well, which is like something that people talked about, so then more people watched it. Whereas
didn't make them that much money though. Sadly.
No, I'm just talking about critics to like reviews to like and how that sort of propagates. It's like, I mean, movies like that are never going to make a lot of money. Like
the thing is about it,
and I'm not saying this in a negative way. Most people want to go to the cinema to watch Marvel movies or like something easy, popcorn movies, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. John Wick 4 is a popcorn movie, but. Like
it slapped ass.
It slaps.
It slapped so bad.
You know, less people are going to see a trailer for something like Banshees of Inisherin and go, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll go to the cinema and watch that.
What also helps the Mario movie is one thing: it's an animated feature.
Kids,
I love animated movies. Some of my favorite films are animated movies. I adore animated features, but it's a more family friendly movie than say John Wick.
Just a little bit, yeah.
It's a more family friendly than some of the latest Marvel movies, like Doctor Strange. That has had a very horror aspect to that movie and everything.
Sam Raimi tried that one, didn't he?
Yeah. It felt Sam Raimi as well. If you like Sam Raimi movie, you might actually like
I don't
that
think
one.
Sam Raimi's ever made a non-Sam Raimi feeling movie.
That's true, but no, the movie was... What helped this movie to be such a success is that, one, overall, I've seen it and I said it was adequate. It's perfectly adequate. And that is not a detriment to it. It's a simple movie that you can go and switch your brain off for like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes and enjoy yourself. Or sit back and let your kids enjoy yourself while you have a 2-hour nap.
It's like I just said about Dead Island, right? It's like, it was a good game because it was simple. But I'm never going to be raving about, you need to play this is one of the best. It was a good fun game, and if you want a good fun time, you can just mash zombies for 20 hours or less. You can beeline.
And 9 times out of 10, that's a Marvel movie.
Yeah, that is a Marvel movie.
That's a Marvel movie. That is a comic book movie. 9 times out of 10.
I've been saying that for years, not as a hater, just as someone who's like, hey, this is what these movies are.
No doubt about that. I completely agree with you. So. I disagree that bad reviews helped this whatsoever. I think it helped. Other things helped this movie. Trailers were good. I think the trailers were a good movie. It's visually a stunning movie. It is beautiful, and you can see that from the trailers alone. So that's marketing itself really well, and they do a lot of great things that market itself to the Mario fans. And people, I think, forgets that Mario is a completely different IP to any of the video game movies that have come out. Mario is bigger than the Uncharted movie. It's bigger than any of the Resident Evil movies. It's bigger than Mortal Kombat and everything. It's like IP alone. It is far stronger, and it was always going to have those people behind them. Those people, that sounded wrong, the Nintendo fans behind it, and nostalgia in this movie is really well done. Like the sound, the noise, the music, apart from the 80s rock movies, which just doesn't seem right in the movie. It's really, really good. It's really fun. It's a simple, sit back, fun movie. Yeah. It's nothing special or anything like that. So for me, I disagree with this overall.
I think the only thing that the middling reviews helped was the user score. Because I think people have that reaction where it's like, well, no, I really liked it, so I'm going to go out of my way to give it a positive review to make that user score go up.
So out of 10, they also bitch saying, the critics are wrong.
I know.
These woke critics are wrong.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Let's continue about critic scores, Amy.
Oh, well, this is more about user scores. Metacritic promises better moderation. Post-Horizon DLC review bombing. We touched on this last week, and now we're going in head first. This is from Justin Carter over at GameDeveloper.com, and I just want to say before I start reading, there will be minor spoilers for Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC, so if you don't want to know any spoilers for that expansion, skip to the next thing. The timestamps are in the description wherever you get in the podcast. So, Justin wrote, review aggregate site Metacritic said it planned to, quote, evolve its processes, end quote, for user reviews to prevent... Something's gone wrong in the copy-paste here. To prevent people from flooding the site with negative reviews as a form of retaliation. The change has been brought on due to review bombing of Guerrilla's recent Burning Shores expansion for Horizon Forbidden West. In the game's new content, players can choose to have protagonist Aloy enter a romantic relationship with Sega, a character introduced in the expansion. Upon the expansion's release, players gave it a low user rating on Metacritic, using the comments section to call out the DLC for choosing to portray a queer relationship. In a statement given to Eurogamer, Metacritic said it was, quote, aware of the abusive and disrespectful reviews, and we have a moderation system in place to track violations of our terms of use. We are currently evolving our processes and tools to introduce stricter moderation in the coming months, end quote. It's worth noting that reviews from Metacritic previously resulted in developers losing bonus pay for their efforts, as we learned with Obsidian Entertainment after Fallout New Vegas released in 2010. It's not known how much user reviews play into that, but the negative reaction may have affected Guerrilla all the same. At the time of writing, the user rating for Burning Shores is at 4.0 out of 10. Multiple reviews of the expansion that violated the terms of service have been removed. I mean, I've been thinking this.
This is why I do not give a fuck about user scores at all. because they can be so easily manipulated. I fucking hate the user score.
Yeah.
I really do. I hate it with a passion because it can be manipulated so fucking easy by any small little whiny little bigoted mob who just want to attack a game or a film or a TV show just because it has queer people in. Oh, it has different diversities in. Oh, all this stupid, pathetic idiotness of bigotry that always happens. I lost my train of thought and I brought it back, I think. But either way,
choo, motherfuckers.
I'm sick of it. It's just fucking, it's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. You're complaining about a video game just because a character can have a queer relationship.
Oh.
You can do it in Mass Effect. Were you bitching then? You probably were bitching then. Let's just be frank.
Whoa, there's a whole section of a video coming out later this year that'll go into that.
Yeah.
Fox News got involved. Yeah, it did. It was a whole thing. It was the first game. You weren't around video games at that point, I don't think. No,
I just weren't around the news.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, that's what I meant by not around.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah,
it was like 2007. I think there was a Fox News special. It was interesting. But no, I've said it for years. I've never really seen the value of the user score because it's not a reflection of reality. I guess like people giving Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores a low score, and I'm sure there are some people who are giving low scores in good faith, like they just didn't like the expansion and they just scored it and moved on with their lives. But I would guess in the majority of cases it's driven because Aloy can have a queer relationship in the game optionally.
It's the same thing as Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. And so The Last of Us Part 2 it was a great example to bring up again because the same thing happened. Critics loved it. User score was in the toilet. And to me, what that says is the user score is just not something that I need to pay attention to. It's not useful in any way. That's not saying the critics are 100% right, it's subjective. But I do the same. I go through Twitter. I have people I follow on Twitter who like the same things that I like, more or less. And I see what they're saying about a game. That's how I approach game reviews. Most of them don't even review the games. They just tweet about them. Like I played Dredge because Rebecca Valentine was tweeting about it. And I was like, this looks cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, like user reviews are just not a thing that I pay attention to. They're useless for this exact reason. Because it can go this way. A bunch of people decide they want to be homophobic assholes, and boom, you've got a low user review score. And then you get all of the clickbait YouTubers who go, oh, you see, critics are out of touch. And hey, I've got my fair share of criticisms around game reviews and game criticism in general, but for different reasons that I think are more considered and more nuanced. We'll talk about them next week. But, it's an endless cycle of just, inevitable nonsense, right? I'm sure there's tons of YouTube videos right now. See, this is why you've got to listen to the gamers and not the game critics. They tell it how it is. Whereas I'm sure Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores is a fine expansion. More of the game, but with a bit more story. Setting up the third one, from what I've heard as well.
Like I said, I've never listened to the user score. I never do. No. And I won't lie, it all happened since the Last Jedi. That was one of the biggest things out there. Critics absolutely adored that movie.
So do we.
The game, the score on Rotten Tomatoes was completely manipulated because of all the hate and everything.
Yeah.
And everything, and it's just
and let's not forget the Asian woman who starred in the movie was harassed and bullied off of social media as well. As a part of that.
All of them have been.
So is Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley was bullied off of social media. John Boyega wasn't bullied off social media, but he's bullied enough on social media.
Yeah, he just tells them to fuck off.
He does. I love John Boyega. I've loved him since Attack the Block, which I love that film.
Because he knows that if he met anyone, he knows none of them would say anything, because he knows he'll slap them so hard they wouldn't be able to get up again.
Of course not.
Have you seen The Woman King? The guy's built like a shithouse.
I haven't, but it's on my list. That is, and not on the list that I tell people is on the list to make them feel better about them giving me recommendations. That's on the actual list.
Again, I don't care about the critics. So at the end of the day, Metacritic, you should have been doing this years ago. Years ago.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why the Epic Game Store doesn't have user reviews. Because this happens on Steam all the time as well. Like, games get review bombed on Steam because of the slightest thing like this. So the Epic Game Store just went... And, Epic Game Store's got a lot of faults. Epic itself has got a lot of faults. The CEO is one of them. But, they were right on the money where they said, look, man, user reviews aren't going to contribute much to this platform. And they don't. I'm sorry to say, there are people out there who probably do really well-considered, good, thoughtful reviews on Steam or Metacritic or whatever in the user sections. But unfortunately, it's everything gets tainted because the vast majority of reviews in cases like this just turn out to be nonsense and useless.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sorry to hear this for the developer and everything like that. Like, you and me were speaking about the DLC last week. Yeah. About the new mechanic to help people who, like what you do, suffer from water and everything. Like, we both were thinking, might get this DLC now and everything. Might have a look. And I'm still contemplating and everything like that. So I'll definitely have a look. And
it'll be a while for me, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so...
Thinking about it.
Fuck the audience score.
Fuck the user score. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Fuck the user score. Wobbling. Stop wobbling.
Xbox.
Yeah, let's not do the square one. It's really long. It's interesting, but very long. Xbox hardware down, but gaming revenue slightly up amid Game Pass growth. This is from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. He writes, Microsoft has released its financial results for Q3 of its 2023 fiscal year, which consists of roughly January through March of this year. In it, the company revealed that the Xbox hardware revenue is down, but its Xbox content and services revenue is slightly up thanks to Xbox Game Pass subscription growth. More specifically, Xbox hardware is down 30% and Xbox content and services is up 3%. Overall, Xbox's gaming revenue is down 4%. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says that the company set third-quarter records for monthly active users and devices, and that Xbox's gaming subscriptions reached almost $1 billion this quarter. Despite this growth in revenue, though, Microsoft did not release new numbers regarding Game Pass subscription count. The latest count was 25 million in January 2022. As for the dip in hardware revenue, Microsoft says the decline comes from the comparison of this quarter this year to the same quarter in the previous fiscal year, which gained a boost thanks to increased console supply. Here are some other numbers from Microsoft's financial results. Revenue was $52.9 billion, which is an increase of 7%. Operating income was $22.4 billion, which is an increase of 15%. Net income was $18.3 billion, which is an increase of 9%. Xbox hardware revenue is down 30%. Content and services revenue is up 3%. And overall Xbox gaming revenue is down 4%. Still made billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, though.
Yeah, that's how insignificant it is really when you hear, it sounds like a big number when you hear 30% of revenue.
30% down. And it's like, oh, you still made a net income of $18 billion.
Yeah, and then you look at it and you just go, then you look at the overall, it's just it's 4%.
Yeah, it's 4%.
It's 4%.
It's 4%.
That's just on the Xbox side. You're still forgetting about the rest of the Microsoft side, and that's what I think people keep forgetting about this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Xbox are going to be absolutely fine. We know this. Microsoft are going to be fine and everything. Don't just remember, if the deal of Activision doesn't go through, they still got $69 billion. Oh, no, $66 billion to spend if they want to.
Oh, yeah. They'll be going in on stuff with that money.
Hard. Sure. They'll be going all in on it and everything. And, yeah, it's just one of those things.
Final Fantasy VII Part 3 Xbox exclusive. Surprise, motherfuckers. That'd be wild. Imagine.
That would be wild. There's no doubt about that.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's Microsoft's fine. They're fine. Like the thing is, right? It's only 4% down, right, for January through March. They haven't fucking released any games. Like the second they drop Starfield, they're gonna be fucking more than fine. Like,
and Forza.
Yeah, and Forza, whenever that comes out.
Be this year. It'll be this year. I think it'll be September.
Sure, yeah. This will be the same, around about the same time as Hollow Knight, right?
Probably.
Hollow Knight and Perfect Dark and Hellblade and Fable. What's bad about it is I could have kept going there.
Yeah, I know you could have. Yeah, that's no doubt about that.
But yeah, no, like once they start bringing games out, I mean, it's going to go up. So, like, I'd say it's only being 4% down in your gaming division when you haven't released any games apart from Hi-Fi Rush is probably a victory.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, if you think about it.
Like, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, true. Cool games to shine, Amy.
Cool games to shine. I can't believe you made me keep that Blizzard story from last week and then you didn't bother reading it.
Oh, did I?
It's fine.
Okay, I don't care.
Cool games.
I forgot all about it.
Cool games to shine. Yeah, it had a massive note next to it that said, keep for next week. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep that. Yeah,
don't mind.
I got 2 games on the cool games to shine list this week instead of 5 last week. Next week, Redfall finally comes to Xbox Series X, S, and PC and Game Pass on May 2nd, and Ravenlock comes to Xbox and PC on May 4th. This is the new game from the developers of Echo Generation, which you might remember I streamed a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and had a grand old time.
Exactly.
Got that massive jump scare, worse than fucking most of my Phasmophobia jump scares. Strangely though, it's coming out on Xbox. It's not in Game Pass. It's coming to PC, but only on Epic Game Store. So it's a timed exclusive on Epic. An action-packed fairy tale adventure about a young heroine destined to fulfill a perilous prophecy. Looks very nice, very whimsical.
Cool.
And Redfall is Redfall. Like, we talked about Redfall last week.
Is it Redfall to Dead Island 2?
Dead Island 2.5. Dead Island 2, but this time it's vampires. There was a street in Dead Island 2 named after Bram Stoker. Because apparently I noticed all of these little things like, there's on the map. I was just like, Stoker Street. Yeah. I understood that reference. Oh, Romero Place. I understood that reference. No, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna download Redfall. Like, who knows what the fuck I'm gonna end up playing over the next week? Bramble, sure, absolutely.
Star Wars, maybe.
Star Wars. I mean, it's on its way.
It's on the way. I got the email as well.
It's on its way. It's coming. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. I don't know. Like, have you seen the reviews have been coming in for games? Some games. Not one of the games on OpenCritic Head-To-Head, but some other games. Cassette Beast was one of the cool games to shine last week. The last time I was on OpenCritic, it was an 88. It started on 91. And I played the demo of it a while ago. It's like a 3D adventure game. It's a bit Pokemon-ish. And I have fun with the demo. Never would have expected that.
90% on top on Rotten on OpenCritic.
Yeah, Cassette Beasts. So it's on Game Pass on PC only. The console release is later this year. So like that suddenly like was skipped up in terms of like, maybe I should check this out, right? And then I've got Mr. Sun's Hatbox came out last week out of nowhere, and fucking Mail Time. I got an email. Mail Time is available now. I'm just like, please stop.
Yeah, I saw that.
Stop.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
I don't know what to do.
And I was like you saying, no, not like this.
Not like this.
No, not like this.
Yeah, I don't know, and I've still got Season's still sitting. in my backlog. Like, it's literally installed on my PC. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay for the next like 15 minutes to do the rest of this podcast. But I'm not sitting in this chair for at least the next couple of days. Like, this has not been the best experience. Like, it's been a great experience chatting with you. Physically, however, it's not been a fantastic experience.
You're slowly dying.
I want to like lie down. Like, and if I got a couple of USB extension cables and I got my tripod out, I might actually be able to make that happen. But not today. Coming at you from my bed. Just surrounded by plushies and just lying there. Just my eyes sticking up out of the blanket. But yeah, those are the cool games to shine for this week. Redfall and Ravenlock. Shall we do half an OpenCritic head-to-head?
Yeah.
This is a game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Last week, whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess 2 OpenCritic scores. The first one was The Last Case of Benedict Fox, coming to Xbox and PC and Game Pass. And it's been in Xbox showcases, and everybody knew that it was coming out because it was at all the different shows. Anyway, it doesn't have an OpenCritic score. It's got one review. So we'll put a pin in that one. And we'll see what happens over the next week.
We'll come back to that one.
Yeah, awkward. The second game that we tried to guess last week was, of course, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The reviews dropped for that yesterday, I believe. I guessed it would get an 85. Moody guessed it would get a 91. And at the time of recording, it's got an OpenCritic average of 86. I took a very dramatic breath there. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't doing like anything, like I wasn't pausing for dramatic effect. I suddenly realized, hey, Amy, breathe.
Breathe.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I get the point, which puts the scores at Amy 8, Moody 6, with 1 draw. And this week, of course, we're going to guess the OpenCritic average of Redfall. I was sweating Redfall because I didn't know how early they were going to release the reviews, because Xbox can go in 2 different directions with their games.
Yeah, true.
So I was like, is this actually going to be? Are they going to drop the reviews before the podcast? Like, we record the podcast, and they haven't. So we're good. Redfall. Fuck me if I don't like. This is a tough one, right? Like, it's all over the place.
Yes.
And it has been, and it feels like it's been more all over the place for the last few weeks, especially, or a couple of months, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So
it's difficult to know where to put this. I'm gonna go 73. And if you'd have asked me a couple of months ago if I thought Redfall would have gotten a lower OpenCritic average than Dead Island 2, a game that's been in development hell for a decade, I would have called you mad, but there we go.
'70s is the ballpark I'm thinking as well.
I'm thinking a 7. It looks like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like a stereotypical
Is it a low 7 out of 10 that makes it drop into the 60s?
Well, that's the thing.
High 60s, or is it a...
I think 7's like the fulcrum of the seesaw. And on the one side, you've got, it's Arcane, right? And Arcane make really well-designed games. But on the other side, they're also making a type of game that they've never made before, which is nothing wrong with that. But...
yeah.
The showings that we've seen haven't painted it in the best light.
Yeah, the previews were very mixed.
Yeah. And there's still a question mark of if it's a live service game or just a co-op game. And there is a difference between those two things.
Yeah.
Is it Destiny or is it Back 4 Blood? Like, what are we working with here?
Play it safe, and 74.
I mean, I don't begrudge you playing it safe on that one. I
gonna be
want it.
72
I want
now.
it. I want it to. I want it to be higher. I want it to be higher. I want to download this game and play it and love the shit out of it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about the gameplay that hasn't been speaking to me.
For me, the game hasn't been speaking to anybody since it came out, or since it was revealed and everything. So it's just one of those things at the end of the day. I think they've been lost with its wording and its messaging when it comes to this game throughout it. And that talk they did on January, I think it was, I don't think it helped. Not to the level of like what's happened to Suicide Squad.
I mean, yo.
But it's just like what we talked about last week, like the performance thing that's not in the game at the beginning. It's going to be just the normal type quality mode, which is just like, you're a fucking AAA developer. You've got $1 trillion company behind you. Why is this happening? Again, we went back to it last week. It's like management, mismanagement, obviously things behind the scenes that are just something's not working right now, and it just seems like it's just nothing but thing after thing after thing. And hopefully, we're both wrong, and this is in the high 80s or like mid in the 80s somewhere.
90,
and the people are fucking loving it, and that's what we want to hear, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, you can love a game that's in like, you know what I mean. Like, reviews mean nothing to your own personal opinion unless you're writing a review. Like, I just talked about how much I enjoyed Dead Island 2. You know, OpenCritic average is 75,
and I went 59. Was it
59?
Or,
yeah, you went 50.
Or 69.
No, you went 59. I had 66.
I went 59. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Like, I went low on that game just because of the craziness of development, the development hell it's been with it. And so, like, I went for that there, but I didn't wish for it.
Yeah, no, this isn't what we wanted to get. Otherwise, it would be 100 every week, and it would be a boring game. I mean, look at Lake. Like, Lake had, 68, 69 on OpenCritic, and it was in our fucking Game of the Year lists. Both of them.
Yeah, it was.
So it's like reviews, we'll talk about it next week. I've got a whole thing, which I dropped in Discord the other day. But like, hopefully Redfall comes out and it rocks. For the people that it's going to rock for. I want it to. I want it to rock for me.
I want it to rock for everybody.
Rock for me, and then they can make Dishonored 3, and then we'll be cooking.
His ultimate goal. Give me Dishonored 3!
If I can get Arcane working on Dishonored 3, and if we can get Obsidian working on Fallout New Vegas 2, New Vegas. Or just Fallout. Set it wherever you want. Obsidian working on Fallout, like, just like a good Halo game. Like, I don't want much.
We never do.
But yeah, no. Let's see where that lands. And then hopefully everything release-wise, I think can chill for a couple of weeks. That's the good thing about Zelda coming out in May. Like, everyone evacuated the fucking everyone evacuated the impact zone around Zelda, so it chills out for a bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Those previews have come out with that bugger,
and I'm gonna be honest. Look, for the people who are gonna love that game, it looks amazing, but like, most of the things that kept me at arm's length in Breath of the Wild still exist in Tears of the Kingdom. So I don't know if I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
Like, not right away, for sure. I'm gonna be catching up on games from the last week for the next month.
That's understandable.
But yeah. And then June comes and you got fucking Final Fantasy. And it's like, oh,
keep forgetting about that.
Final Fantasy and Diablo and Street Fighter all come out in June. August's gone fucking nuts. Over the last couple of weeks, I just put something in for August. I got Armored Core. So you got Starfield, Baldur's Gate, Sea of Stars, and now Armored Core are all coming out in August. And probably Pikmin, I think. Or was that before? Might be before, but just like, slow down, guys. We've only got so much time. and we're all running out of money. We can't keep buying things and putting them on the never-ending backlog. I need to eat.
The never-ending backlog.
The never-ending backlog. We need to make that music video. I can source like we'll get loads of games boxes and we'll just print off loads of covers and we'll just do a never-ending backlog music video. We'll do like Snow Angels in the games pile. We'll make it rain with game boxes and do it all in slow motion. The never-ending backlog.
Well, there's that installed, so that'll do.
What did you just install?
I've just installed on my Game Pass on PC that Beasts game and
Cassette
Coffee
Beast.
Talk 2.
Nice. Oh, Coffee Talk 2 is something else I want to get back to. I really enjoyed the first one.
on OpenCritic right now.
I really enjoyed the first one as well. So I'll be installing that and playing that. Like I've got a gap in, I guess, before Star Wars. We need to do things as well. That's going to do it for this episode of the Words About Games podcast. I'm at my limit. I'm at my seated upright limit.
And I'm at my standard right limit.
I'll swap you.
Tag!
Just pop. Oh no! Wait, hold on. I'm now in Moody's area of the woods. Oh God!
Oh, Moody, you've got so much space. How do you?
Hi, Sophia. You don't have a spare bed, do you?
We do.
Oh, good. Be a bit weird otherwise.
It will be a bit weird as you're coming down, and we didn't have a bed for you.
Just all three of us in one bed. Well, Charlie in the chocolate factory.
It's a king size bed, so
hey, yeah, we'd fit. We'd all fit. Be very cozy, especially in June. Might be a bit warm.
Oh God! I've got a fan. I've got a fan. I've got fans, and I'm getting some air purifying machines as well.
Nice.
Because we ain't gonna want the windows open.
Nope.
But a lot of ice.
A lot of ice. That is gonna do it for episode 349, I believe, of the Words About Games podcast. My back hurts. Rudy, what have you got for the end of the show?
Nothing. I'm done for the day. Bye.
Oh, cool. Back.
It's the weekend, people. It's another long one for you, and I hope you all have a great time. You've got fabulous games coming out. You've got Bramble the Mountain King. You've got Star Wars, but we all know you want to play Bramble the Mountain King and everything. Or play something from your backlog. Probably. Who knows? But either way, I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend, and peace out.
And
peace out.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said.
No,
and peace out.
And peace out. I thought you had your thing.
No, I don't want to say it. I felt bad after saying something really nice last time and then saying things. Fuck the Tories!
Yeah, we need to work on the balance of that. Because it's nice to end a podcast on something nice. And fuck the Tories is nice, but it also reminds people that the Tories exist, and that's not nice.
Yeah.
Fuck Shinra!
Cancel culture is a myth.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.